Studio MAPPA has done it again with this brand new comedy action anime, but I have noticed that this one has flown a bit under the radar and has caused a bit of a stir in the anime community. Today, I'm talking about Buchigiri. I want to quickly go through the plot. So Arjun is a character that comes back to his hometown that is a little bit on the smaller scale of things, kind of in a resistant fashion. His mother is running a Chinese restaurant, and he runs into his old childhood friend who just is, kind of in love with him not in a super serious way, I think. I guess I'm not totally sure yet. And he finds out that there's all these like fighting gangs in the school, and they're all trying to, be the biggest, toughest guys on the block. And he's kind of getting pulled between all these gangs because he accidentally stumbles upon a shrine that has a genie that wants to merge with him and makes him like this like One Punch Man Saitama kind of goat like badass, and all these gangs just want to get him on his side so they can become the coolest gang in the town. So the tone of this anime is very much in like the vein of like a Windbreaker or a Tokyo Revengers, or kind of like a high school, like God of High School even is a good example, kind of battle anime. But it's like that, and if you mashed in like Cromartie High like together, kind of craziness. So it's got a very good hook with the unhinged kind of comedy, while also keeping you very engaged with that typical MAPPA style intense like battle scene that are just look amazing on the eyes. They're very visually appealing. And the story is kind of taken seriously, but not too seriously to where, again, it would be too closely comparative to a Windbreaker. It's more in the vein of like a viral hit. So I think that, and we're going to get to this in a minute, I think some of the controversy online was that people really disliked the main character, but I want to prove that I think he was actually the perfect character for the show. So a lot of MAPPA stans were upset with the main character of the show being Arjun because he is very similar to Denji. And everybody, if you remember watching Chainsaw Man, had a big issue with Denji as a main character as well, because he is just solely driven by his horniness. Yes, that is true. And this character is no different. He doesn't have a whole lot of morals. He doesn't have a whole lot of guidance or direction in life. He's just a high school guy that wants to get laid. And these characters end up using that to his advantage, or their advantage, to try and get them as a part of their gang so they can
become like this Chad gang and beat the other gangs.
And again, this is a little different than Chainsaw Man, because Chainsaw Man is much more serious. It's got kind of an undertone of comedy, whereas Buchigiri is very like, the comedy is like right in your face, right on top. There's no mistaking that it's kind of a comedy anime with action kind of to, service that and mash them together. So I don't really understand personally why people had such an issue with him as a main character. I was just impressed that there was like a comedy, like action anime in this vein where they even care to push the character development along at all, which they do. And I think MAPPA is really good at doing that, because I just think having a main character where they don't have a lot of morals is actually a really interesting and compelling start for a show, because it gives you, one, so much room to grow, and two, it's very hard to relate to. And I tend to not like those, cookie cutter, just like, we've got it all sorted out, I'm the best guy in the world, like my moral standards are amazing, I'm gonna help everybody I can, and the
power of friendship will get me through the night.
Another reason to love Buchigiri is not just because of Arjun, but every single character in the show, from Senya the genie to Maharo to Matakara to Zabu, like all of them are so unique and diverse and have this really intense kind of lore within the rivalry of all these gangs and their gang affiliation, and how they got to the point of kind of being at each other's throats at where they're at. So I would dare to say that even the side characters kind of make this show worth watching. I don't think it's solely just about being interested in the main character and seeing them succeed. You are just very interested in all of them, and their character design is really unique and really appealing. And there's even some crazy characters, like there's this girl that's absolutely crazily hornily obsessed with her brother. Did I just say hornily? Yes, that's a word now. And yeah, so she's terrible, but she makes the show kind of interesting in a very creepy way as well. And you learn about these things called honky people, which are these people that want to become like intertwined with these genies that are at these shrines and develop the kind of the ultimate strength that you can within their world, which is really, really cool and unique. To close this video out, Buchigiri, I think, even though initially I went into this watching it after a recommendation of someone telling me like, hey, you should watch this MAPPA anime, it is really trash, I just don't think that. I just think this anime is actually really well done. I think the characters and the key visuals and everything just looks so good. The action scenes are really intense and they're not drawn out too long, which I think anime is kind of starting to pick up. You don't need to every action scene to be literally like 4 episodes long, which is great. The comedy is pretty on point and unhinged, and just unhinged enough that it could be suitable for a lot of different audiences, which is really, really good. Of course, there's that MAPPA touch with the characters and the world design, which always looks amazing. So I just can't get on board, even though there's a lot of reception saying that the main character killed this. I don't think they impacted it really at all. If anything, they impacted it in a good way. So yeah, if you like comedy like Cromartie High, if you like things like Windbreaker, Tokyo Revengers, stuff like that, even God of High School, I would really, really suggest checking Buchigiri out. And until I find something else to talk about, gamers, I will see you later, all right?
Bye.